Hey, my name is Jane, affectionately known to some as Calamity, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have a really fun project for you, especially if you have little children, if you have older children even, if you have adults. Heck, you could do this for adults. So let me show you what I'm talking about. My kids kind of outgrew the scratch art paper. If you know what I'm talking about, it's a piece of black paper and you use a stylus to scrape, and it has rainbows underneath, and you just scrape off the black and it creates some neat little rainbowy patterns. Well, my kids had a bunch of this left over and they kind of outgrew it. And I said, I don't want to throw it away. What can I do with this that's crafty? And I figured out something. I'm going to use it with my stamps to make some really fun things. Look here. This is one of the first things I did. I used the Coffee Cafe rubber stamp set, and I stamped the image on the black. So we need to use the Whisper White craft ink, which is available on page 200 of the catalog. It comes with the refill. Mine's kind of old, but I've been using it for a long time. It's $9.50, which isn't bad. You get the whole craft pad and the re-inker for $9.50. That's a pretty good deal. Now, craft ink is a little bit different than other ink. This is not water-based. It sits on top of the paper. You can emboss with it. You can use this white on darker things like this black paper here. It's going to stand out and make your image really pop. So, I've stamped the image, and then most of those kits come with this little wooden stylus for scraping off, but I found that if you use the paper piercing tool, now mine is an older one, they have newer ones that are much nicer, it's got a cushioned handle, the newer ones do. You can get in little details when you're scraping off. So this project would be perfect if you have young kids, because look here, now these are older retired sets, but here was a set from a long time ago called Make a Monster, and it's a build your own monster set. I used this set to create this one. So if you have maybe a son or a daughter who likes monsters, maybe you're out at a restaurant and they're bored, bring along your craft ink, your stamp set, and a bunch of these papers and let them build their own scene. When they're done building it, you gotta let it dry just a little while, and then you can take your piercing tool, or if they're younger children, the stylus that comes with it, and just scrape it off, and they can follow the guidelines, and it's going to give them the image that you've just stamped. But it's going to be in rainbow colors like this one. So here is another version. I did this one with the Foxy Friends, and I used a cute little fox there. And notice I didn't use my paper piercing mat when I stamped it, so I got a little bit off, but that's okay because this is just the guideline. You're going to be scraping all of this off anyway. You just have to let it dry just a bit. I didn't wait for mine. I just scraped it, and it was okay, even being a little bit wet, but it's probably better if you let it dry. So you can use the paper piercing tool to scrape off the fine details. So there's that one. I also did, let's see, Party Pandas. Okay, this was a celebration set from this year. So I did a little happy birthday, and again, it wasn't perfect, but that's okay because it's scraping off. So there's a little birthday one. You can make a little birthday card with this, or make a bunch of these, make card faces for them, and let each of the kids do them. I also did this one here with a retired set called Paisley Prints. I used the hearts. Now this one would probably be better for an adult. I also used a celebration set called Happy Wishes to make the best friends here. Because there's a lot more intricate detail here, you're definitely going to want to use your paper piercing tool to scrape them off. So this is probably better for an adult, but you're going to have a really pretty outcome with that. Let me show you real quick how to do it. It doesn't take long at all. So I'm going to take one of our pieces of scratch art paper, and I've got here, this is from Coffee Cafe. I'm going to use this stamp here, and I already put it on the C block. So we're going to take our craft ink, and we're going, it looks like I need to re-ink my pad because I've been using it an awful lot lately. So I inked up my pad, And I'm just going to, I'm using the Stampin' Pierce mat just because I like the way it stamps. I'm just going to press it down. Press it pretty good to make sure it's all on there. And there you go. So now we need, the next piece is the lid. I'm going to take the lid and take this one off. We'll put the lid on. Ink it up again. And I'm just going to kind of line it up and stamp it on. And there we go. Now you can take your piercing tool and just scrape off in the lines. And it's going to give you the image in rainbows. Isn't that a neat idea? It's so much fun. You're going to love doing this. This one, you know, the more detail it has, the longer it takes, but it's really good to do when you're sitting at a restaurant and you're bored while you're waiting for your food to come out or whatever. So you can kind of see there what that's going to look like. And see, I did not wait for this to dry. As you can see, it was spreading a little bit. So you might want to wait for it to dry. Anyway, oh yeah, and you can also scrape the edges or do your own pattern around it or whatever. So this is a really fun thing to do, and I hope that you enjoy that. The paper piercing mat and tool are on page 204 of your catalog. The tool, which is much nicer than mine, is $4. The mat is $5. You don't have to have them. You could use the stylus that comes with it, but, you know, people can use other.
Oops. Almost dropped the camera.
A better scratchy, but more detail. So, have fun with your stamping. I hope that that gives you some fun ideas. And if you need to find me on StampinUp.com, I am an independent demonstrator. I'm H. Jane Harrington, and you can find me in Alabama. So if you'd like to order any of these products, now Stampin' Up! Doesn't carry these, but you know, go raise your child's craft room, and I'm sure you'll find some of those. So happy stamping. Bye-bye.